Hey all my maniacs out there, it's your favorite webcomic creator and animator, the Chainsaw Maniac, here with another video for you guys. And this one is specifically going to be based on the short film I did. A lot of you have been bombarding me in my DMs, asking me how exactly do you, Mr. Chainsaw, do this very cool and crazy like action sequences and make it look cool and have fun doing it. So okay, now first of all, this is not going to be like very in-depth in terms of how to set up a shot and stuff like that, but this is more so the beginning of possibly a video series that I plan on doing, where I actually go into how I would approach like fight sequencing and ways and tips and tricks on how to improve on it, like choreography and stuff like that. Maybe I'll go more in-depth in future videos, but for now this is just how to kind of get started with like fighting sequences and crazy choreography, you know, type of Sakuga crazy fight scene stuff, you know. So first of all, if you enjoy this type of content and you would like to see more, there's a like button, there's a subscribe button, there's a notification bell, and I'm pretty sure you know what to do with those. So getting into this video on how to exactly do some really cool action sequences and how to get started with it, the first thing you have to do is learn the fundamentals of animation. Fundamentals is always the way to get where you want to be, because fundamentals are if you have a very good fundamental base to like bounce off of or like build something on top of, it's always the best to have that base, you know, because obviously through experience you're going to figure out like how to utilize these 12 principles, right? Now, to be honest with you guys, when it comes to these 12 principles, I haven't actually really sat down and learned them myself. The way my mentors taught me is kind of just like, how do you feel about the scene? What do you see that's missing here? Like, and also the thing is, like, every animator has a different name for these 12 principles, so it's kind of hard to keep track of which principles which, while utilizing them is pretty easy. You kind of do it like instinctually if you're like very well experienced like myself. Like, I do things that sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing, like when it comes to like the rules of thirds, and like sometimes I just flow and I just do things, right? I don't really notice that I'm doing like squash and stretch here or using a form of arcs, or like, you know what I mean? Like I don't really notice those things. I just kind of go with what I feel, and I look at the scene and like, okay, this kind of seems off here, and I kind of just go with whatever feels right? I mean, that's just kind of how I do things. I wing it, but obviously in the industry you will learn about, you can probably search up the 12 principles. I'm pretty sure there's a really cool video on YouTube as well. I can't remember the guy's name, but he really takes you through like the 12 principles and like exactly how to use them and stuff like that. It's not really that important to know the names of these 12 principles, but more or less how they work and how to utilize them. That's all you need to know. Like, you don't need to memorize the names, just how to use them and when to use them. So also another thing that you guys have to do is definitely know how things move. I think that's also very important. Timing and making things move a certain way. For instance, an ostrich would certainly walk a certain way, right? A human would walk a certain way, and depending on the genre and feeling you're going for, like, it can differ between, you know, genres and stuff like that. So like, it's really important to keep that in mind when it comes to your different types of projects and what you plan to actually do, and you know what you envision and stuff like that. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Now, when it comes to staging the fight sequences and planning it out, this is a bit well, I wouldn't say it's tricky, but like, you have to actually pay attention to reference. So I would suggest going out there or even doing the reference yourself, you know, and over exaggerate the way you move and stuff like that. You don't really want to make it feel lackluster and kind of boring, right? You kind of want to add a bit extra here and there. And more so with the Sakuga and crazy like animation flying around, people doing all types of backflips and all types of sword fighting and types of crazy stuff, right? You do want to keep in mind that there's always a reference for it. Like, you don't even have to look at real life reference. You just look at the pros. Look what the pros do. Look at what they do in terms of like, I mean, One Piece is out there. You know, you have Naruto, you have DBZ, you have Bleach. There's all types of reference you can use. Now, granted, those are all anime references, but there's also like, you know, your Justice Leagues. There's also like Western styled animations that you can look at, and that's all like right there in front of you. You just gotta go out. Yeah, I mean, you can go on YouTube, you can type in animation by whoever, right, and it will pop up. And the best thing to do is always find a visual mentor, I would say. So if you specifically like a type of style, if you specifically like a certain artist, follow that artist, see how they do it, especially if they're pros and have been in the industry for quite some time. You can learn a lot from their experience, and you don't have to kind of reinvent the wheel. Like if they figured some shit out, you don't have to like go through the entire process again and try and figure it out, right? It's already done. So you just look at what they did, you reference it, and you kind of tweak it a bit, you know. It's kind of like stealing in a way, you know, and everyone steals from everything. Nothing's really that original, you know. You take from here, you take from there, you mash it together, and originality, right? So that's kind of what you have to do, which is weird because like in the short film contest, I gave marks on originality, where I'm like, it's kind of iffy there. It's subjective. What's really original? What, like, everything is from everything, right? So like it's maybe it's something you haven't really seen before. Maybe that's what it is, right? But then it can be shit, and you just haven't seen it. So like I don't know. That's why that marking system when it comes to originality was kind of like I didn't know about that. So yeah, I just want to kind of nail in the reference point, because like a lot of artists, what I notice is they don't really take a lot of reference, and it's been nailed in my head by all my mentors to take reference. And that's why I'm so good at animation, right? Because whenever I do something and I'm like, this doesn't seem right, I always act it out. I stand up, I get up, right? Get up with fat ass, right? So when you stand up, right, and you act it out, you can see how elbows move, right? You can see how knees move, right? And not only that, you're actually getting the real life experience of that movement, right? So you can tell every bone, every muscle, what's moving, what isn't moving, right? So that's why it's good to act it out. You need to act it out. It also gives you a sense of timing. How long does it take for my elbow to move from here to there? How long does it take, right? It gives you some sense of timing. So you really want to act it out, right? Do, maybe, on a floss on the people, do whatever you need to do, right? To get the animation done. Do what you have to do, okay? Even if it makes you look dumb. Look, the animation's gonna look cool. You can look dumb, but the animation's gonna look cool. Sacrifices need to be made, okay? And there's no one way of doing things. So like if someone tells you this is how you do it and it's the only way, you can tell them to just go jump off a bridge, because that is not really how art works, right? It's expressive. You express exactly how you feel in a given time, what you're feeling, or how things are making you feel within that moment. You kind of like going with the flow there in a way or sense, right? So you kind of just want to go there, and it's good to kind of, and that's why when your character is doing a very emotional scene, you put yourself in your character's shoes. How would you react if someone just came up into your house, drop kicked the door down, and just stabbed your father repeatedly in front of your face? How would that feel, right? Now put that into an animation. Very graphic example, but it kind of like gives you a really direct point, right? So that's kind of what you want to go with. How would you make your animation look cool? Because I got asked that question. How do you make your animation look cool? Look here. Let me tell you something. Just come close. No, close. Okay. You just do it. Okay. Your animation will look cool if you want it to look cool and you know what cool looks like, right? Brings me back to the point. Reference some cool shit, right? And then you know what cool looks like, and then you take the cool and you put it into your work, and now your work's cool, right? Now it looks awesome because you copied awesome, right? You copy awesome to become awesome. That's how you become awesome, right? I don't know, it's quite simple, really. It's just a matter of practice, just a matter of reference, and be observant of what exactly things are doing and what people are doing and what other stuff is doing. Like, you have to be kind of creepy with that shit. You kind of have to stalk your prey in a way. Just like stare at shit. And sometimes you have to stare at people and they're like, what the hell are you staring at? And you're just like, I'm referencing you, right? So you kind of have to, it's kind of weird, right? Although, and I kind of do that a lot. Like, I was kind of just like very quiet, and I always used to watch people, and I kind of like learned a lot from that. So I don't know, it's an observation skill, I guess. But I mean, it's not something that no one can learn, right? It's something you can pick up every now and then. And obviously, the more you do it, the more experience you get, the more you level up, right? Now, this might shock you, but I'm a very slow learner. Very slow. Like, almost very stupidly slow, right? So now people say I learn things quick. You know how I learn things quick? You know why? Because I repeat it over and over, and I do it almost like ad nauseum. I do it like repeatedly until I freaking feel like killing myself. That's that's how I get good at something, because I reps. I do reps. Like if you would want a fighting game analogy, like obviously if you want to be good at Street Fighter, what do? You play a lot of Street Fighter, right? You get your reps in, you lab it, you go into training mode, you see, oh shit, if I do a Shoryuken here and I miss, fucking Zangief is gonna grab me and slam me into the ground, right? You kind of, you learn from experience, so you just keep doing it. And don't worry about failing, you will fail. Everyone fails. You will fail repeatedly. I've failed so much times, it's not even like, if you paid me for the amount of times I failed, I would definitely be Andrew Tate levels of reach. I would be out the fucking world reach, right? Maybe even higher, man. I would like Jeff Bezos, like fucking Elon, like all of them, take all of them together and mash them together like you did with your animations, right? And that's how rich I would be if you paid me every time I failed, because that's how much times I failed. I failed so much times, but you know, I always get up. I always do what I have to do. I see, oh shit, I fucked up this animation. And the thing is, right, put it out there. Put out your animations, put it out there, get it out there, even if it looks like absolute trash. You put it out there because people critique it, and it kind of hardens your skin a bit, right? Because a lot of people shit on your work, and that's good. You need that. At least that's how I operate, right? People see my stuff and like, oh, this is shit. And I'm like, okay, cool. I won't do that because that's shit, right? Although they might just saying it to troll you, but I mean, you're smart enough to know whether or not you're being trolled, right? Or whether or not you're being like actually critiqued, right? So that's about it. Got a little bit of motivational there at the end, but that's normally how I like to end my videos. Just keep you guys motivated, keep you guys on your toes. Just don't forget, you can do whatever you put your mind to. You just need to be quite passionate about it, kind of obsessive, and that's kind of how I'm good at what I do, because I think about it, I breathe it, I sleep it, you know. It's there all the time. Like, I love animation, I love creating cool stuff, I love telling stories, you know. It's something I do like constantly. I don't stop doing it. I don't really go out that much, you know what I mean? You know, obviously I take my break, I do what I have to do, you know, family time, friends time, you know. But when I'm not doing any of those things, like I'm animating, I'm working on my craft, and you're not gonna really get anywhere if you just sit around and, I don't know, just procrastinate like a crazy person, right? Everybody has that procrastinating demon inside them. I think I kind of killed that guy. Like, I don't have that anymore. Like, I just kind of keep going. I think that's about it, guys. I think that's where we're gonna leave it. I'll definitely do another part of this video. Maybe we'll go more into scene setup. Maybe we'll go more into how exactly to plan out the fight sequence, or how I'll walk you through exactly how I do it, which is not really the industry standard way. Let's just put it that way. Like, my ways are very unorthodox. I don't know, but maybe when you see it, you'll know, right? When you see it, like, it's something that you have to see to understand. So yeah, when we get to that, we get to that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.